How you doing, guys? Eric from RuleTheWasteland.com. We're entering a very, very strange time when it comes to technology and information. I know you've probably seen a Canadian prepper. He likes to talk about like the chat GPT and certain things related to that. And there's a few elements of this like takeover of, I don't even want to say AI, but let's just say like a generated content that doesn't exist. So like usually AI generated, but I'm not really even focused on the fact that, you know, the AI is going to be doing things that humans were doing, like writing your paper for you or whatever. Just the fact that we're entering a time, a post-truth era, what I would call it, where the generated content is going to be, for the vast majority of people, indistinguishable from like actual content. Even something like video. Think about how, you know, if you have video of a politician doing something, now they're just going to say, you know, within a few years at least, if not already, just be deepfake. Look at these pictures of people have been making these memes about like Trump getting arrested and eventually taking over the police department or whatever, and they're fucking hilarious, but they're also like shockingly good. And there's still a few things you can look at in these images that, if you have a keen eye, will indicate to you that they're fake. And then we'll get to a stage where you won't visually be able to tell, but there'll be software that can tell for you. Like, I mean, if you see the front sight post on his gun is like crooked, or this other cop has a weapon that like, doesn't really exist. It looks like a grenade launcher, but then it also has like a magazine. But the point is that we're getting harder and harder to actually distinguish what is fake and what is real. And not in the sense that we have right now, where, you know, back in the day, let's say like the 40s or 50s, like let's just say World War II. If you were to get any information about, you know, what was going on in the world during World War II, it would have to come through specific sources. There was a actual access to information problem that the average person had. There was no way for the average person to get any sense of what was going on anywhere else in the world, maybe even anywhere else in the country, without going through the gatekeepers of access, of information access, which would be, you know, the local news, the journalists, the government. There was no way for the average person to, you know, maybe you could get some kind of high-powered radio or something and talk to some random person, but there was an access issue. You really couldn't get any information that they weren't giving you, not on a major scale. Nowadays, with the internet, access to information is not the problem. In fact, the problem is just parsing what information is legit, what information is trustworthy. We have a deluge, a fire hose of information that you can get. You can get, like with Gonzalo Lira and other people, we can get access from literal individual soldiers on the battlefield and individual people in these cities that are experiencing these things. We have cell phone footage from everything. You know, like everyone has a camera, everyone has instant access to everyone else in the world. It's amazing. It does allow us to get incredible access to an actually unusable amount of information. So now the challenge is parsing that information. You know, someone will throw a video up there and say, oh, this kid said the N-word and so he got destroyed by this group of other kids or whatever. And then you have to say, okay, is the video now, there's not really any risk up till this point of the video being completely fake, like this event that you're watching didn't happen. Now you just have to find out the elements of the story. Is that the real story? Did it happen when they said it? Did it happen where they said it? Context, things like that. You have these people that say, I'm in Ukraine, there's 100,000 people that have died. So now you have to know, is this person trustworthy? So we have all this information, and it's parsing it is the task at hand. And that is at least available to people who have the intelligence, the ability, the patience, or whatever. Normies still aren't doing that parsing. It's available to them, but they're still not doing it. If they see a video pop up in their feed and it confirms to their biases, they share it, they comment, they accept it as real, whatever. Think of how scary that is when you can instantly create a video that will be indistinguishable from a real video and could be created in an infinite quantity, supported by a AI like account that won't just be a scam or spamming, you know, this account was created yesterday, has 2 followers and only talks about this one talking point. That's obvious for people like me and you. Even the normies can't miss that. But imagine when this is an account that is out there doing everything that a normal account does, because it's an actual AI and it's working tirelessly. It actually, you know, is using argumentative reasoning. It knows all the psychological elements of persuasion and has what looks like a real account. And there could be an infinite number of these. And you think people feel outnumbered now when you jump onto with the way social media is throttled. Imagine not only is it contained, but everything on there is fake. How are you going to deal with information? Now we're going to be back to the access, because soon it will take actual technology to determine what accounts are fake, what video and images are fake. You won't just be able to do it by being intelligent and looking into things. It will be literally indistinguishable, probably without special technology. So now we're back to, the social media companies, the tech companies, the government are now back to being the priests as the only ones who read Latin and be like, you have to come to us for us to tell you what is the real information. And that's a scary time, because normal people already are bad at parsing, this flow of information when you still have the ability to it. And when the information, is genuinely still has to be a real thing. Like, the video might not be about what they say, it might not be when they say, but it's still a real video. Imagine when you can instantly generate a video of whatever you want, and it will be indistinguishable to all but the, most tech-savvy people that this is even fake or real. That's a scary time. I don't know exactly how it's going to play out. What I do know is the people who seemingly might be the first victims of this, like famous people and politicians, because there'll be videos of them, just like with Trump, of all sorts of weird shit being generated. They're actually, especially when it comes to politicians and government, the biggest beneficiaries. They're going to love it, because what's the first thing they can say when anything comes out? Oh, it's deep fake, AI generated, don't worry about it. And like, how would you verify that that's true? Unless you literally, like, physically were at that speech, where someone said something, and you're like, no, I literally heard them say this. It's not just this video. This video isn't fake. I heard them say this appalling thing. But now you're one voice, and you could have 1,000 bot accounts that are generally even more coherent, more articulate than a real person, not less, like with current spam accounts, but coming out and saying, no, we were all there too, that didn't happen, you're wrong, it was AI generated. Like, there's just going to be no way to determine what's real or not without physically being there. And then once you know what's real, even, you're not going to be able to convince anybody else of it, because they'll just be swarmed out. Or if you're not legitimately shut out, kind of like they've been doing on Twitter and other social media accounts, banned and whatnot, or throttled, then you'll just be drowned out by more fake information that is indistinguishable from the real information. We always said, saying in the Army, that if you can't amaze them with excellence, baffle them with bullshit. That's what's happening right now, kind of, is the stream of information is all coming in. We have to pick out the real stuff from the bullshit. But now it's going to be impossible in a few years, and I'm not sure exactly where that's headed. What I'm worried about is they'll use it as an excuse to soak up all the power. Say, this is so dangerous that anyone can make us fake information. There's certain things that you can't do maybe now, like you can't go online without being like digitally verified that you're a real person. So now they have everything you do is known and tracked and can be controlled. So, and their excuse will be like, well, we have to know who's a bot and who's not, even though they're the ones making the bots. And it's just a scary time, because I'm not really worried about like the Skynet type stuff as much as what I'm describing now. And I don't really have a prescription for anyone. I mean, the only real prescription is to do things more in person, build up a community of some kind if you can, try to find some kind of alternate means of communication. But I really think it's going to allow them, people are going to be frustrated with it and are going to give up the power, like they do always, for the security and the comfort of like just not having to worry about this stuff. So it's going to be a weird time. And I haven't seen too many people talk about that particular aspect of it, the fact that we're moving into like a post-truth era. But I'm sure I'm not the only one. But no one's doing anything to stop that. I don't even know what you would do to stop it. You might have to ban AI, like in the Dune novels. That actually was a thing where AI was used back in like the history of this civilization, and because of its power to take over and make decisions, it was banned. And now they have to use like humans who are I don't know if they're like genetically adapted, but they would be super smart. They're like human computers, but they're not artificial intelligence. It's like actually banned. So maybe we'll get to that point. Who knows? But it's definitely scary, and it'll just become more and more difficult to figure out what is actually going on in the world. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.